Welcome to Bagan. Here are some of our thoughts and reflections on what we saw during the trip.
During our stay in Bagan, we had the opportunity to travel via various modes of transport. We rode on bicycles, sat in trucks, motorbikes, and ox carts. One thing we noticed were the uneven roads here as compared to our smooth roads in Singapore. It was a totally new experience travelling on such roads as we were so used to the safety and convenience in Singapore. In fact, some of us even fell from our bikes. This really made us feel for the people living there, and we hope that these roads can be improved for the safety and the economy of the country in the future, especially since the tourism industry is booming. We also became a lot more appreciative of what we have in Singapore.
The visit to the market is an interesting experience. First, unlike Singapore wet market, the market in Bagan is surprisingly dry. This is due to the fact that it is built on a sandy ground. Next, the market is the main source of food for the villagers in Bagan. There wasn't supermarket sited within the route that we took. Also, the market is extremely crowded and they sell traditional clothes such as longi too. This shows how much the villagers rely on the market for their basic necessities.
In Bagan, we visited a very special village school. We observed the children during their classes, and we learned that they use plastic bottles and other trash to build the walls of the school. And I feel that this is a very good cause, as it can promote recycling, and Singapore can learn from this, as Singapore's land is very limited. We don't have much space to throw our trash, so maybe Singapore can adopt more recycling methods and become an even more green city.
There aren't specialized schools for people to become tour guides, so they had to do a lot of work on their own. For example, Wang, who brought us around in Bagan on bikes. He watched numerous English movies and talked to the English tourists in order to brush up on his English. And he had to do a lot of his own research in order to pass the exams to become a tour guide. This shed light and gave a new perspective to this profession, because I never imagined the amount of hard work needed to become a tour guide. But I think people like Wang would help to boost the tourism industry in Myanmar, especially when he does his tour on bicycles, which would definitely appeal to foreigners.
As Bagan is a popular tourist destination, we saw a lot of children approaching tourists like us to sell souvenirs like postcards or paintings. And as this scene is not very commonly seen in Singapore, and that some of these children are really, really young, we can't help but feel a sense of wanting to buy from them, to help them out a bit. But when we shared this observation to one of the local tour guides, he shared with us his personal opinion that we should not buy from these children, as it encourages them to keep on skipping school to sell postcards instead of receiving education, which is like the proper way out of poverty. So I guess that gives us a different perspective to things, and it kind of makes sense, so that's something that interesting that we learned.
What amazed me during our visit to the schools was the enthusiasm the children there have for learning. Even though their facilities are a lot less or not as advanced as Singapore's, the students really have this passion to learn, and you can hear it through the enthusiastic shouting that they have. On top of it, I thought it was pretty cool that the students there take turns to teach one another. It gives them a sense of ownership, which I think is rare in Singapore, and I think it's something that we should encourage in our school.